And he wanted a doll baby, and he joined out and went in that bag and got his doll baby before we got over there. And he kicked up a storm. He wanted his doll baby right then. I don't know whatever else you want me to say.
I can recall that we borrowed a sedan that Cliff had. I'm pretty sure it was Cliff's. And we went down to Elizabeth City late in the evening. And on the way back, it was foggy as it could be, and all of a sudden the accelerator linkage broke. And I said, Clyde, the only thing for us to do is pull the hood up, and that was the old-fashioned cars, the hoods came up on the side. And so I said, pull the hood up, I'll go ahead and start, I'll work the throttle back and forth, and you can stay inside and steer it. Well, I didn't realize he couldn't see because the fog was hitting his windshield, but I was laying on the outside. I didn't wear glasses then, so I could see way down the road, and I opened it up wide open. And Clyde was sticking his head out, yelling in the wind, slow it down, slow it down. Well, we made it back. We cut through Brambleton, and we saw the police. I saw a policeman, and finally we wired up a piece of wire, and Clyde was pulling the wire while he was steering the car. Break it right there. Let me think. There's a couple of stories that I don't think would be good in mixed company, and Clyde will probably remember them. All I have to tell him is to mention a couple of things like the ferry to Cape Charles, and a certain gal that he wrote to and told her that he was dreaming about her and he could see her sliding in on a moonbeam. I consider Clyde Charles as the best friend that I ever had. Clyde and I were probably more like brothers than we were friends. We, like I told you, related to you the story that when we first met on this gravel, the dune of gravel, it just seemed like we took to each other, and we were almost inseparable. Matter of fact, I was probably over at his house eating his mama's good old biscuits. I used to love her biscuits, and probably spent more time there than I did at home. But that sort of shows you that Clyde and I were very, very close. We did almost everything together there for several years until we each met different girls and went our different ways. And I'm only sorry that we really didn't stay in better contact with each other. But we had our own things that we had to do. I raised in a big family, and Clyde playing his country music with his guitar. But to me, I can't think of anybody else that I could consider as good a friend as Clyde was. We spent a lot of time hunting for girls. And we found a lot of them, too. I mean, it wasn't wasted time.
Now I know what you used to do, huh?
Well, yeah, of course, we were young.
Well, after you found me, did you keep looking?
No, well, look, now...
now I'm asking you a question now. I expect an answer.
I take the Fifth Amendment on that.
Okay.
I take the Fifth Amendment on that.
All right. I'm not sure I'm going to let that one go, though.
I've got my rights, you know.
I know, and so do I. I won't let you forget that one.
Yeah, this one...
I know he used to leave me at home, because I never stayed out real late. And because every time I came home real late, my mother would be on the porch waiting for me. And that got kind of tiresome. So I know when he left me kind of early, he'd go somewhere else. And like you said...
Is that true?
That's true.
Well...
Don't lie, don't lie.
We didn't necessarily go looking for girls or anything.
It was accidentally.
No, we just...
Yeah. You told me some of these.
What if I had to take you home at 9 o'clock? We didn't have to be home till around 12, so we would just ride around and...
whatever they found, they found.
No, nothing. No, nothing ever came of that.
Can't even imagine him being big. I can't imagine him weighing 109.
That's 260 now.
Well, I wouldn't know him if I saw him on the street. I know that.
Oh, you would.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe his face, I might.
Yeah, Clyde's got that face that his face is you and me.
His smile, I know I would, because I always loved Clyde's smile.
I think he's best described as a little story he told me a while ago. He said that he can go into any place, unbeknownst to that place, and walk in and say, there's something wrong going on in here. And before he'll leave that day, someone will tell him exactly what is going on wrong.
True.
He's a very positive thinking man. And I think that really best describes Clyde, in my opinion. Upbeat, optimistic guy.
Will Rogers said, I never knew a man I didn't like. I never knew one I did.
Now here we have Mr. Clyde Chalk. Well-known golfer. We're playing at Hell's Point. That was Clyde's choice today because he wanted to stay close to home. How'd you do?
Did you have it on tape?
Right, don't wash it off.
I want you to go ahead and tee up, Clyde, and go through that little ritual you go through and have that out of the way so when it's time to hit you'll be ready.
That will change the history of golf in this world as we know it. If you expose this to the public and they see this mighty man of valor.
You ever read Mad magazine, Clyde?
No, I'm not into that stuff.
I'm seriously considering sending it either to Mad magazine or the National Enquirer. That way you'll get to see yourself on film.
Well, the National Enquirer is a cultivated magazine, bent on truth, honor, and integrity. Did you know that?
I knew you read it. I figured a man of your character.
Well, how else would you stay informed of what's going on in the world that surrounds you?
You mean an inquiring mind would really like to know?
Don't you want to know?
Could you just for a second
Because
look dead
I'll tell you if you want to know.
Look dead into the camera and give us that really informed look. They really want to know. Now that's an inquiring mind if I ever saw one.
What you want to know about Clyde? How much I love him?
Yeah.
So much that he will never know. He was a little boy and came to stay with me whenever, what'd you say, 1939. And Grant humoured him and Earlene to everything that they could do. Anything they did was fine with him. And one day, back there was a colored man, colored lot, back of my house, a lot of colored folks lived. And I missed them, and they were gone back there, and I searched everywhere for them, and I couldn't, they were going to have a colored man get out of the ditch. They were stuck. And they were out there come in just like two little orphans, and I was so disgusted with them, I shut them up in the closet, in the bedroom, and wouldn't let them have anything. And Grant come back and said, you ain't setting them young'uns up for nothing. I'd give them a Coca-Cola apiece. I could have, if they'd been mine, I'd have paddled them good, because I hadn't wanted them to go back there with those colored folks.
Well, when Lloyd and Clifton and Clyde were little, they come to live with us. When we lived to the pecan place, and we carried them out there in the field to work. And that was the time that strikes first started. Clyde sat down on the side of the road and hollered like, what's the matter with you, Clyde? He said, I'm got a sit-down strike. He sat there on that road, wouldn't do nothing, just sit there.
Well, do you remember Clyde?
Ain't that a stupid question? He's my niece and nephew, ain't he?
He's your niece, huh?
My nephew. That's a stupid question.
Tell me something about it.
Well, he's a real nice nephew. I'm proud of him.
Come sing for you.
Don't cry, but
He'd come spend the weekend with us or something, and he'd bring a guitar and sing The Great Speckled Bird on the front porch. I remember that.
really, even at that age.
I kept a manual spanking off of him with Mom and Daddy. He used to go into my bed when they'd come after him. He didn't want to go home.
He was your favorite, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, I loved them all a lot.
Yeah, but he was kind of special.
Yeah,
I think he was Daddy's favorite too, don't you?
yeah.
And he didn't pick any bones about it.
Daddy's special was Pat.
It was really about the time he wrecked his car, and a brand new car